what we want to do is use sports as the greatest metaphor for life. And if we feel like if we can teach kids how to deal with anxiety, how to deal with pressure, how to deal with failure, how to deal with success through sport, then in turn it helps them to become better people, right? So like if you're struggling with something, if your kid's struggling with a bully at school or struggling with taking tests because the pressure's just too much, how do you practice that? Like as a father, you can go to your daughter and your son and say, okay, work your hardest, don't worry about the end result. But those are just words, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Right? They have to physically put themselves, emotionally put themselves in that same situation over and over to really be able to understand how to deal with it. And what we're saying is that sports does that for you. So now through sport, when you practice every day and you're playing these games and you have these emotional challenges, you get used to figuring out how to navigate yourself through, which in turn helps you to become a better test taker and vice versa. I think the goal is always to win championships. No matter where you go, that's the goal. And that's his goal, that's Rob's goal, that's Magic's goal, that's Jeannie's goal, Rondo, all the guys, Kuzma, Lonzo, they all want to win championships, man. So that's what they're gunning for. Well, you don't need to win a champion. Well, you're asking me, you have to win championships. This is why we play, this is why we're here, is to win championships. And, he wouldn't have came here if he didn't expect to win championships. Well, to me, it's just really simple. Wherever you play, the object is to win championships. That's it.
End of story.
End of story. Never. Here's the thing, is for us athletes, it's really hard to transition from that, right? And I was really personal about it when I wrote Dear Basketball. But that is the true challenge of finding what comes next and finding something that you love to do every bit as much as you loved your first passion. That is a challenge for us. And I think, unfortunately for us athletes, we've been pigeonholed into thinking that we can only be one thing. And so when I retired, everybody is saying, okay, he's too competitive, he's not gonna know what to do with himself. He's gonna have to come back. I took that as a personal challenge of them thinking I'm this one-dimensional person, that all I know is how to dribble a ball, shoot the ball, and play basketball and compete at that level. And so I took that as a personal challenge. I will never come back to the game, ever. I'm here to show people that we can do much more than that. And creating this business, winning an Oscar, winning the Emmy and the Annie, those are things that are showing other athletes that come after, no, there's more to this thing, right? So I would never, it's not even a, the challenge became, how do I take the lessons that I learned through the game of basketball and translate them into building the studio, right? What are the things that I can take from that? The discipline, the commitment, the team and community. How do you get the best out of each other? How do I take those lessons and move those here? That is the challenge. How do we do great work, uncompromising great work? You're not looking at the bottom line. You're focused on the product first. Right? Is this the best thing that we can possibly make, no matter what? And having that sharp focus is something that I got from the game of basketball. I'll sit and I'll think and I'll create. I write them all out. And create the characters, create the rules, the structure. And then you kind of got to go with your gut. You got to go with your gut and see, are we creating something that's been done before? Or is this a project something that nobody's seen before? Mm-hmm. And is it a project that we're not sure that we can do? And if the answer is yes, then 9 times out of 10, we're going for that one, right? Because that means we're pushing boundaries a little bit. I love creating. I love directing, I love producing. I don't love acting. I don't love being in front of the camera. I like trying to figure out if the arc of the story is the right one. There's about a 0% chance that I come back and play.
So not even like a...
Nothing.
0. You're toast. you're finished.
Done.
As a player.
That's it.
Did last year at any point with you going through your first season not playing basketball?
Never.
Not once did you think about it?
Basketball.
Love.
Los Angeles.
Home.
Retirement.
Peace.
And legacy.
Wow.
Kobe Bryant, a legend of basketball, the third highest scorer of all time, only 41 years of age, died in a helicopter accident alongside his 13-year-old daughter and 7 other people. Before we begin, our respects and condolences go to the family during this trying and testing period.
What I've learned is to always keep going. Always. You know, there's been times, particularly early in my career, where it just feels like this is the end. But what I've come to find out is that, you know, no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready.
As expected, Kobe's death has affected hundreds and thousands of people worldwide, with 250 tweets per second talking about his achievements, offering their respects and sharing memories from the likes of the ex-president of the United States to even the ex-president of Iran. He has even caused grown men to weep and mourn in public. And what's even more special about this individual is that he has stopped our fast-paced rat race, whatever you want to call it, and you've got people talking about the unpredictability of life and taking the time to appreciate one's family after seeing the relationship Kobe had with his 13-year-old daughter. Whilst all this is happening, the legendary BBC, whilst squandering the taxpayers' money, can't seem to hire staff that can tell the difference between LeBron and Kobe.
His list of achievements is long. An all-star, an NBA champion and an Olympic gold medalist, he was unashamedly competitive.
Of course these muppets had to apologise in the end, but it just goes to show, as this is going on, there's a lot of questions that are plaguing the minds of the people. And to be honest, I was actually inspired by this tweet where the guy actually says, imagine being told that the helicopter is going to crash. What goes through your mind? What do you say to yourself? And he goes one step forward and he says, imagine as a father, you got your daughter there, and fathers are very protective. Having a child that's come from you and you can't do anything to protect that child. I mean, what would their conversation have been? What would he have said to his own daughter to comfort her whilst they were plummeting to their death? I mean, it's something that if we think about, it's very saddening. But I think the thought entered my mind, imagine if I was in his position, plummeting to my death. Boy, what would your regrets be? What would you want to do differently? What if you had another chance? Kobe was such a celebrity. He only retired in 2016. He had so many plans. I mean, I think the guy even won an Oscar for something as well. He went into film and he flipping did brilliant there as well. The guy was 41. Death don't care. Death doesn't care if you're a celebrity. Death doesn't care if you're a 13-year-old child. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But I'm gonna be honest, even after hearing this, some of us are still duped, and I speak to myself before I speak to you. We're still duped into thinking that we're gonna live forever. I mean, who's guaranteed us that we're going to live till tomorrow? No one. But here we're thinking, it's Kobe. Oh yeah, it's somebody in that country. But that's the thing. Today it's him, tomorrow it could be us. And that should really get us thinking about the big questions in life. Like, what are we actually doing here? Like, what's our purpose? Surely life is more than just merrymaking, going to work. I mean, this guy puts it perfectly.
So many of us, we wake up every day in fear. We're scared. And we are so frightened to leave the box. We work in a box, we drive to the office in a box, we eat lunch out of a box, we go home and live in a box, we spend 5 hours every night watching a box, and then we die in a box, and we call it a life.
That's literally how we've made our existence. Yeah? Everybody's gonna die, but does everybody live? And what does it mean to live? Especially if you're not spending your time focusing on your purpose. What are you doing here? And is there any point wasting time on people that when we pass away, they'd probably spend a week grieving and mourning, and then they'll move on? And those people that are watching that are believers, the only thing that we're gonna take with us is our deeds. Yeah, that's what we take with us. But there's another continuing investment that's called sadaqatul jariyah, ongoing sadaqah. Yeah, ongoing deeds. That could be if you helped build a mosque, that could be if you taught somebody something, or if you helped somebody accept Islam, or you gave somebody life-changing advice, or just general advice that helped them better themselves, teach somebody Quran, or give in charity that saves someone's life, or feed them, or whatever. So, and even other stuff like creating content, could be a podcast, could be making videos that will live on after you pass away, or writing books. Some people may say, oh, but Kobe's passed away, but there's other people that are dying every single day. And you're right, that's so true. But I guess what makes celebrities' deaths so talked about, because everybody knows them. They know their name, they know about their lives, they have a connection with them. So when they pass away, it's an interesting time for us to open the doors of dialogue. And I'm going to end with this quote, which is, the goal isn't to live forever, but to create something that will. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time.
I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it.